to ever written Java code that works very perfectly until it didn't. The program crashes, red error text floods in your screen, and the Java says exception in the thread main. But what if I told you exceptions are not your enemy? By the end of this video, you will not only understand the exception handling in Java, you will control it, predict it, and use it like a pro. Let's begin. What is an exception actually? Imagine this. You go to an ATM, you insert your card, and you enter the wrong PIN. Boom, something unexpected happened. Does the ATM explode over there? No. It is going to handle the exception and it is going to politely say, incorrect PIN entered, try again. That's, my friend, is an exception handling. In Java, an exception is an unexpected event that is going to disrupt the normal flow of a program. Let's take an example. If you are dividing a number by 0, accessing an invalid array index, file not found, network failure. Java is not going to ignore these problems. It will force you to deal with them. And that's a good thing. Why exception handling matters? Let me ask you something. What is the worst part? A program that crashes or a program that fails silently and corrupt the data? Java chooses safety over the silence. Exception handling helps you in preventing the program crash, show meaningful error messages, maintain the program flow, write the robust and the professional code. No exception handling, that means you are a beginner code. A good exception handling, you are ready with the industry ready developer. Let's discuss the type of exceptions in Java. Java exception majorly fall into three categories. Let's discuss the very first one, the checked exception. Now, checked exceptions has to be checked at the compile time. There is no way that you'll be able to handle that at the runtime. So everything is going to be handled at the compile time. Until that, your code will not compile at all. Let's take an example. If you take IO exception, SQL exception, these are checked exceptions. Here, Java is going to clearly mention to you, either you handle this particular or I won't be able to compile the code, and you have to keep it like that until you solve it. Second, unchecked exception. This is going to occur at the runtime. If you take an example, null pointer exception, arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception. These are the exceptions which are occurring at the runtime. Java is going to say here that I have already warned you, but you have ignored it. Hence, your application fails over here. Errors, not meant to be handled. It should be thrown. Here, if you take a look at this, here you will see out of memory error, stack overflow error. These are the system level problems which is going to occur. Let's discuss about the try catch block. It is going to be explained in a simple manner. Here we are actually talking about the heart of the exception handling, which is try catch and the finally block. If you take a look, try is going to let you try something very, very risky code. So all the code which is going to be the very risky code, the code snippet has to be written in the try block. The catch block, if there is some sort of failure, this particular code is always ready to handle that. It only matters that you are handling the right exception handler. Finally, is used no matter what happens, whether the exception happens or whether the exception doesn't happen. This will certainly run at every moment. Let's take an example. Let's say you are writing and trying to divide a number. Okay, you're the try by catch block. You're writing the try section with something like the result is going to divide 10 by 0. Here you are trying to catch the exception and you're trying to print the exception over here that you cannot divide it by the 0. If you take a look, the arithmetic exception has been handled over here. And in the finally section, you are writing that the program is still continue to work. Underneath, what is happening over here is that first Java tries to execute the try block. It is trying to divide it by the 0, which is going to occur. Then it is going to jump the control to the catch block because you cannot divide it by the 0. Hence, it will catch that exception over there and it will print that. Finally, it will run the code no matter what happens in the finally block. The key rule over here is that the program with exception handling does not die. It is always going to survive and it is going to continue, maintain running the program. Let's discuss about the keywords throw and the throws. This part is going to be very confusing to everyone until now. Let's discuss throw first. It is used to manually throw an exception. Let's say you wanted to throw an arithmetic exception. Inside that exception, then you can write throw new arithmetic exception. You can define or actually mention a valid text over there, a message which is going to sound knowledge saying that something has went wrong. You are saying that I detected the problem and I'm throwing it to show that something went wrong. This is the behavior of exception handling when you're defining the try catch block. Throws means it is going to be used along with the method declaration. You are going to define, let's say, a read file method where it is going to throw an exception of IO exception. What exactly it is saying here is that if something goes wrong, the caller must handle, not the method which is having the error. So think of it like throw. I am going to cause the problem over here, and you should be handling it, and then I will be throwing it. Throws, I will pass the responsibility to the calling method, and then it has to handle it or it has to catch it. We can define the custom exception. At a certain level, you definitely require to write the custom exception. In real world, real application, don't just use the built-in exceptions. You can create your own exception of your own type, and also that is going to be related to your own domain. Let's say I'm defining a class invalid age exception, which is going to extend from the exception class. Here we are defining the constructor with a message which is calling the super, which is going to be the constructor of exception class. Why this is going to matter over here is that this is going to be very clean way of writing the code. You are writing a better error message over here, and this is a professional architecture if you define it with the help of exception handling. So this is how the real world Java applications are built and run. So let's wrap this section and discuss what we have discussed so far. Exception handling is not just about simple errors. It is going to be about the control, the stability, and the confidence. A Java developer or a senior developer who understands this exception handling mechanism is always going to write a safe code, is going to handle the real world problems, and think like an engineer over there. After watching out this, please don't forget to practice these exceptions, break your code intentionally so that you can fix that, and learn how the Java react to this particular exception and how you can handle the exception in a better way. Because the best developer don't just avoid these kind of errors, they handle them very gracefully. If this video has given you some value, please give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Until then, see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.